Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to discuss Ray Bradbury's short story called The Pedestrian. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin. In this video, we will discuss about the major characters in the story. We will go through the background and context of what the story is about, discuss the detailed summary of the story, and also have a discussion on the major themes of the story. Ray Bradbury was an American author known for his imaginative and thought-provoking works, and often we see in his works the themes of technology, censorship, and human nature. He was born in 1920 and passed away recently in the year 2012. In this story, strangely enough, we have one main protagonist. His name is Leonard Mead. He is a solitary individual who enjoys walking alone at night. And we have a police car. It is the only remaining law enforcement vehicle in the city which is equipped with advanced technology and surveillance. The Pedestrian by Ray Bradbury was first published in the year 1951. This story or prose piece is set in a dystopian future where technology has become dominant, leading to the development of a society which is devoid of human interaction and creativity. Now, I have mentioned the term dystopian. First, let's see what this is about and then we will go into decoding the story. Let me tell you in a very simple manner what is the meaning of dystopian, because you will see this term mentioned in that box which is there as an introduction to your prose piece, which is there I think on page 159 of your textbooks. Now first of all, the word dystopian means the opposite of utopian, which means it is the opposite of an ideal or a perfect society. It refers to a society or a world which is unpleasant, scary, and not suitable to live in. Dystopian world often is set in the future to show a grim or a sad, dark vision of what could happen if certain trends or events which are happening today continue in the future. In a dystopian society, there is often a lot of control and oppression by the government or other powerful groups. We also see that people in a dystopian world will have limited freedom. Next, we see that dystopian stories show characters who are suffering or struggling to survive in a harsh environment. The dystopian world highlights the social issues like inequality, injustice, about what could happen if such problems are not addressed in the future. So therefore we can say that dystopian stories can serve as a warning or commentary on the real world issues, encouraging people to think about the consequences or results of certain actions or policies. Okay, now I've told you what dystopian is. Towards the end of the video, I will quickly analyze for you how this is a dystopian story that we are doing today. The central message of the story is that it highlights the dangers of a society which is overly reliant or dependent on technology, where individuality and freedom of expression are suppressed. It emphasizes the importance of human connection and the need for balance between technological advancement and humanity. It is very important. Let us now discuss a detailed summary part by part of what the story is about. We have the introduction to Leonard Mead. He enjoys solitary walks in the city streets, especially in the quiet of the evening. He finds peace in the silence and freedom of these empty streets. Despite living in a technologically advanced society, he prefers the simplicity of walking and observing his surroundings. To mention some of the important facts which might be important for you is the story begins somewhere around 8 o'clock of a misty evening in November. The time of the year is AD 2053, and he is walking alone on the streets. It has often been observed that the protagonist would walk for hours and miles and return only at midnight to his house. And on his way, he would see the cottages and homes with their dark windows which resembled graveyards. So you can see from the very beginning that the protagonist has been placed in a world where from the very start there is no human connection or interaction whatsoever. As Leonard walks, he imagines himself in a different environment, far from the urban landscape. He greets the silent houses as he passes them, thinking about the activities that people might be engaged in indoors. Despite the absence of human interaction, he continues his nightly walks without encountering anyone. Just as I mentioned that he would see through the cottages and homes with their dark windows which resembled graveyards, and then he starts walking in a westerly direction towards the hidden sea. Then he imagines the first scenario where he says, "Hello in there," he whispered to every house on every side as he moved. And what is it that he says next? "What's up tonight on Channel 4, Channel 7, Channel 9? Where are the cowboys rushing? And do I see the United States cavalry over the next hill to the rescue?" So this is one such figment of imagination, a conversation he is having in his mind. The next he says, "What is it now?" he asked the houses, noticing his wristwatch. 8:30 p.m. Time for a dozen assorted murders, a quiz, a review, a comedian falling off the stage. That is, he starts imagining what is it that the people might be engaged in while they are locked up in their houses. And this is not just one day in his life which is being shown to us, but it is mentioned in the story that in 10 years of walking by night or day for thousands of miles, he had never met another person walking, not once in all that time. Yet we see his need for fresh open air, that he was continuing with this same activity on a daily basis for how long? Nearly 10 years. During one of his walks, Leonard encounters a police car, which is a rare sight in the city. The police interrogate him, questioning his purpose for being outside at night and his lack of technological engagement. Despite Leonard's explanation of simply walking for air and observation, the police consider his behavior abnormal and decide to take him into custody. What exactly happens? If I refer to the text, it was almost when he was about to reach his destination that he comes face to face with a car. A metallic voice called to him, "Stand still, stay where you are, don't move, put up your hands up or we'll shoot." And then it is mentioned that ever since a year ago, that is 2052, the election year, the force had been cut down from 3 cars to 1. Crime was ebbing. There was no need now for the police, save for this one lone car which was wandering the empty streets. And it so happens that Leonard happens to meet just this one car at such a time. So you can well imagine what kind of a problem he has been in, and what is the main thing that the police is saying, that why are you not engaged in the technological activities like other people? Who has given you permission to be roaming about in the streets? Then the police interrogates that what is your profession? He says, "You can call me a writer." But see how it is mentioned that even a writer was not given any importance, because after a certain point everything went on in the tomb-like houses at night now, and there was no more magazines or books that were sold or published. Because of the introduction of technology into the world, his profession had no importance. The police asks that why are you walking for air? They are not able to understand that why is he just walking outside to get some fresh air. They also inquire about his address, and he says 11 South St. James Street. And then he says, And you having a viewing screen in your house to see with? He says no. After that, he is asked if he is married, to which he replies no. Again, the police is shocked and they ask again that, are you just walking? He says, I explained, for air and to see and just to walk. Have you done this often? Every night for years. The police car sat in the center of the street with its radio throat fainting humming. Well, Mr. Mead, yes, there was a sigh and the back door opens and he has been asked to get inside the car. He is not even being given any opportunity to talk about his side of the story, and the fact that he is stating that he is just out for fresh air is not somehow making sense to the police. Finally, Leonard is asked to get into the car. He says, I protest, but the police insists. Mr. Mead, he walked like a man suddenly drunk. As he passed the front window of the car, he looked in. As he had expected, there was no one in the front seat, no one in the car at all. So the whole thing had been controlled by a technology-driven car. There was no human being over there as well. He put his hand to the door and peered into the back seat, which was a little cell, a little black jail with bars. It smelled of riveted steel. Now, if you had a wife to give you an alibi, said the iron voice, but where are you taking me? And then he is told that he is being taken to the Psychiatric Center for Research on Regressive Tendencies. So you can imagine the farce of this entire situation. That is, he is being arrested not by human cops but by a police car which has been technologically trained to carry out patrolling and other such activities which a human police would do. So Leonard complies or agrees with the authorities, although he protests his innocence. The story ends with Leonard's realization of the stark contrast between his solitary walks and the conformity that he is forced to listen to, adhere to, as imposed by the society on him. We can look at these four major themes to understand the story better, that is, man versus technology, conformity versus non-conformity, isolation and loneliness, and freedom of expression. The story depicts a society where technology has taken the forefront over human connection and individuality. Leonard Mead's preference for solitary walks highlights the contrast between the simplicity of human interaction and the complexity of technological dependence. The police car's surveillance and control highlights how technology can be used to suppress human freedom and expression, even though he is trying to justify his solitary walks. And I don't see anything wrong in Mr. Mead walking alone at night. He is not disturbing anyone, but because there is no human interaction, the police car is also an example of technology. There is no room, no scope for human emotion. Secondly, we see Leonard Mead represents non-conformity, that is, he does not want to engage in the activities which are defined by the society, but he wants to indulge in walking alone at night. His solitary walks challenge the conformity which has been designed by the system, by the authorities, leading to his confrontation with the police. So the story critiques the dangers of blindly following the rules and regulations which are imposed by such a society, which I have defined earlier as a dystopian society, and encourages individuals to question the societal expectations and values. In the story, we see that despite living in a crowded city, Leonard Mead experiences loneliness due to lack of human interaction. His walks symbolize his attempt to escape isolation and find meaning in the silence of empty streets. The story highlights the emotional toll of isolation and how people long for human connection in a technology-dominated society. You walk into a room, there are 4 people sitting, all are busy on the phones. Isn't this a reality that we are living today? And ultimately, we all want human connection. It is because we are not getting it from the people present in the room that we are now moving to watching excessive reels and shots on YouTube or Instagram for that matter. Okay, next is freedom of expression. The story highlights the importance of freedom of expression and individuality in a society that suppresses creativity and independent thought. Leonard Mead's refusal to conform to the expectations of the society reflects his desires to express himself freely, even though he was being oppressed by law. The story serves as a reminder of the importance of preserving human values and defending the right to express oneself in the face of technological advancement. So, overall, the Pedestrian warns against the potential dangers of technological advancement and the erosion of human values in a future society. So let me quickly tell you how is The Pedestrian a dystopian story. I have already explained what is the meaning of dystopia. So we can say that the story depicts a future society which is dominated by technology. It shows a lack of human connection and individuality. It illustrates the oppressive control by authorities, the police in this case. It highlights the isolation and loneliness people face despite living in a crowded city. It portrays a bleak and undesirable vision of the future. It warns against the consequences of unchecked technological advancement. And finally, it asks us to reflect on the societal issues and challenges which are prevalent in the contemporary society, solve it, otherwise the consequence is that we all might become someone like Leonard Mead. You never know. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.